Hey, Heather from SalesFolk here, and this week I wanted to talk about bad sales advice and what you should be doing instead. The first one is that volume can make up for your sales problems, or in other words, that if you send enough emails or make enough cold calls, that you'll be successful as a salesperson. That's not true. If you have an ineffective approach, doing it at scale will just piss a bunch of people off at scale. Ultimately, you need to think about who your audience is, you need to research them, and you need to craft a message that is relevant to them. After you've done that, you should test and see what does and doesn't work for this audience. And from there, you can send a smaller volume out, and then you can scale up over time, and you'll be much more successful. Another piece of incorrect advice I hear, which is kind of the opposite, is that you should just send a one-off email because that will be more thoughtful and personalized. However, there are a lot of crummy emails that are one-off that are not very effective. So kind of going back to the last point, make sure you've done your research, make sure the message is good and relevant, not too long, all the other usual cold email best practices, but don't be afraid to templatize, because you can have a good, targeted, thoughtful email that feels like a one-on-one, that's much more scalable, and it's actually totally mass, but still doesn't really feel that way. And then another piece of bad advice I hear from people is that you should just follow up a lot. It's true, you should follow up. I actually recommend, if you're doing cold email, sending 8 emails in order to maximize your chances of getting a response. However, this doesn't mean just follow up and hammer them over the head. This means that you should send a bunch of different thoughtful emails with different messages and approaches to maximize your chances. And so you need to be thinking about your overall strategy and also making sure that you vary your message so it appeals to a range of people, but also doesn't get boring, repetitive, redundant, and it doesn't make you seem obnoxious. My next point, which is very important, is personalization isn't all the same, and just personalizing or adding custom inserts won't necessarily make your emails good or effective. Here's an example. Just adding first name or company name is pretty basic. It's really more about the message as a whole, and if it resonates with this audience or not. Does it add value? Does it speak to their problems? Is it relevant to them? A lot of times, people try to do really stupid personalization or customization that's really obvious, and it seems very disingenuous. Here's an example. They'll say something at the start of the email like, "I noticed you're a sales leader at company," or "I saw on LinkedIn that you're the CEO of SalesFolk. Wow. Guess what? That doesn't impress me. Okay, cool. You know how to use the internet." Maybe that was impressive 5 to 10 years ago, but that's a bit dated right now. So instead of just doing basic stuff like that, you need to think, how can I really resonate with them, and how can I go layers deeper? Don't just say obvious observations. Try to take what you found, what you know, what you learned, and try to instep that into a level deeper to have a more meaningful conversation, and make sure, especially if you're giving compliments, that it comes off as authentic. Otherwise, it actually can backfire. But that's it for now. I hope you found these tips of what not to do useful. For more information on cold email sales, marketing tips, you can check out the SalesFolk blog. Other than that, happy cold emailing. Cheers. Bye.